Good morning, students. Today we will tell about a new disease in nutritional deficiency disorders, that will be osteomalacia and rickets. So, if you see the normal bone mineralizations, osteoblastic and osteoclastic activity, a certain amount of the bone is getting formation in the early growing age. Then after the certain ages, the osteoclastic activity is increasing, and this is how the normal bone mineralization is maintained with the procedures which include about vitamin D, calcium, phosphorus and potassium. This nutrient play a major role to bone density and bone growth. So whenever there is a abnormality in this, going to develop, or deficiency in this nutrient, going to develop your rickets and osteomalacia. So inadequate bone mineralization and excessive unmineralization of the osteoids leads to the osteomalacia, and adult versions of osteomalacia we can consider as a rickets. In rickets, epiphyseal involvement is more. So if we see the classifications according to the etiology, so it will be divided in different 5 types. Number 1, deficiency induced rickets and osteomalacia. Here the deficiency of vitamin D, calcium deficiency, phosphorus deficiency and chlorides in the diet. Number 2, absorptive rickets and osteomalacia. Here the deficiency is not in intake but absorption in the gut or the different systems is not there, and because of that we are getting. So that will be because of gastric abnormalities, biliary disease and enteric absorptive defects. Number 3 will be renal tubular rickets and osteomalacia. So here whatever this small nutrition which will be reabsorbed in the renal systems, but because of defect in that there will be no absorption, or there will be more amount of excretion, and will lead to loss of calciums and nutrients in the urinary systems or excretory systems, again which leads to development of such diseases. Here will be the proximal tubular lesion, proximal and distal tubular lesions, and distal tubular lesion again is classified in primary and secondary lesions, and that is also called as the renal tubular acidosis. Fourth one is renal osteodystrophy, and fifth cause is unusual form of rickets and osteomalacia, that is because of rickets with fibrous dysplasia, rickets with neurofibromatosis, rickets associated with the soft tissue and bone neoplasma, rickets due to the anticonvulsant medications, and hypophosphatasia. So these are the unusual forms of rickets and osteomalacia when developed. Now if we see the pathology, so basically vitamin D, which is useful for bone development, and that is a bone resorption and increase in the calcium and phosphate intake, but it is also help in the kidney to have a more calcium reabsorption and phosphate reabsorption, as well as in intestine increase in the calcium absorption, phosphate absorption and synthesis of calciferol D28. Now because of decrease in the calcium plasma, there will be increase in the PTH, parathyroid hormone secretion, and will lead to effect on bone, that will be increase in the bone resorption, on the kidney decrease in the phosphate reabsorption of phosphorus, increase in the calcium malabsorption and urinary problems. In intestine, increase in the calcium absorption indirect via the 125 decalciferols, and ultimately increase in the plasma calcium for the bone formation. So this is how, when this systems or this algorithm does not maintain and lead to increase in the bone resorption, and ultimately patient is going for the development lack of calcium and phosphates in the body, and leads to development of osteomalacia and the rickets. Now if we see the epiphyseal abnormalities, so resting and proliferative zone not affected, but the zone of maturation in the epiphyseal plate is irregularly distributed cells, and hypertrophic cells are irregularly distributed, and the intervening with the matrix bar and cannot be identified. And because of that honeycomb pattern, vascular growth is distorted, an increase in cartilage cells and unmineralized matrix increase the length and width of the bone, and the joint weight produce is known as cupping. And because of that, you are developing the certain non-cortical bones or normal anatomical bone will be disturbed, and overall growth of the bone is not functioning well, especially the long bones. Clinical features of rickets and osteomalacia will include about failure to thrive, listlessness, aphatic, irritable, hypotonic, and muscular weakness, atresia. Obviously, delayed milestone, pallid and pasty skins, ligamentous laxity and loose joint structure, and number of subluxations are more. Tetany and laryngeal stridor and convulsions is also happening. Carotid taps, frontal bulging, there will be rise in the frontal bone, irregular pits and growths of the teeth in the oral cavities, ricket rosary, Harrison sulcus, then pigeon chest, and we can say the rachitic pod belly of the abdomen and rachitic cat back, or that is called thoracic kyphosis as well. So these are the different amount of symptoms will be seen, along with the skeletal deformities include about bow legs, no knees, knock knees, genu varum, coxa vara, thickening around the wrist and ankle, and pathological fractures are most commonly seen. If we see the X-rays, we will see the delayed appearance of epiphysis, thickening and widening of the growth plate, cupping and splaying of the metaphysis, refraction and bowing of the diaphysis leads to the concavity will increase in the all long bones. Bone deformities include about genu valgum, genu varus, coxa vara, and all. In case of an osteomalacia, that is milkman's pseudo fracture, or that is called loser zone, biconcave vertebra, normally vertebra should not be biconcave, but because of the disc pressure and the bone is not able to maintain the flatness, it's become a concave, bilateral concave. Then lateral indentation of acetabular on the pelvis, spontaneous fractures of the ribs, pubic rami, femoral neck, attraction. Features of secondary hyperparathyroidism, that is a subperiosteal resorption of the bone and brown tumor of the bone. If you see the biochemical level, so decrease in the serum calcium and serum phosphate level, increase in the serum alkaline phosphate, diminish urinary excretion of calcium, and decrease the serum level of 25-OH vitamin D, that is in the vitamin D induced rickets. The calcium phosphate product is less than 2.5. So if you see the characteristic of the different types of ricket, family history will be positive. For vitamin deficiency, myopathies will be there, growth defect may be there, may not be there, calcium level, potassium level decrease, alkaline phosphate level will increase, in urine calcium level will decrease, potassium will decrease, osteofibrosis may be there, in others dietary deficiency or malabsorption. Same way for the other renal tubular and renal coagular disease will also produce such amount of the diseases. If you see the bone biopsy, osteoid seams are wider and extensive, and there will be a defect in the mineralizations. So if we classify them or we compare them, so osteomalacia will be unwell, osteoporosis will be well. In case of generalized chronic ache, pain only after the fracture in osteoporosis. In osteomalacia, muscular weakness, osteoporosis muscle may be normal. Osteomalacia loser zone will be high, osteoporosis loser zone will be less or no. Alkaline phosphate will increase in osteomalacia, alkaline phosphate will be normal in osteoporosis. Serum phosphorus will decrease and it will be normal in osteoporosis. Calcium phosphate will be less than 2.4 mmol per liter, and here in osteoporosis more than 2.4. If we see the treatment, so obviously it is a nutrient deficiency, the vitamin D deficiency, corrections of the cause of the vitamin D deficiency, adequate dietary supply and sunlight exposure is most common. 1500 microgram and 6 international units vitamin D3 orally or IM with the calcium supplement is given. Filling occurs continues with the 4000 international unit to 1000 unit with vitamin D3 per day, and NLD with the required 2000 international unit per day vitamin D3. In intestinal mass absorption, 50,000 to 1 lakh IU unit with vitamin D3 per day with calcium supplement is required. In case of renal tubular rickets and osteomalacia, increase in the clearance of PO4 by PCT, that is hypophosphatemic rickets, a failure in the production of H plus and its substitution fixation base in the DCT, that is renal tubular acidosis, a failure of conversion of 2,25 hydroxy vitamin D to 25 hydroxy vitamin D, and combined lesions both tubules, which causes the Fanconi group of rickets and osteomalacia. So that primary cause for the proximal tubular rickets and osteomyelitic syndrome has to be seen, and that has to be treated well with the existing cause, and along with the certain amount of weight bearing exercises and physiotherapy have also a good role, along with the diet, nutrition and treatment of existing cause. Thank you.